Hello there, and welcome to unboxing Umbraco 9.4. If you don't know, this is the show where we go through new releases of Umbraco CMS, and this time it's the fourth minor for Umbraco 9. Actually, quite an exciting release with a really big new feature, and then tons and tons of smaller improvements. My name is Rune. I am the product communications producer at Umbraco, and today, in order to go through the release, I'm joined by two of my wonderful colleagues. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Elitsa, would you go first?
Yeah, that's sure. So yes, my name is Elitsa, and I'm a software developer at the CMS team. I've been working at Umbraco for over 3 years, still part-time, I'm still studying, but my daily tasks are related to the Umbraco CMS. Yeah, Seb?
Yes, I am Sebastiaan, head of PR, which stands for pull requests, not what you think it stands for.
Very nice. All right, let's just dive into the release here. So Bjarke has written a release blog post for us covering a lot of the bigger improvements here. And at the very top, it says item tracking improvements. Some of you may remember back in Umbraco 8, we introduced media tracking and also data type tracking. And now it's pretty much tracking everything, content, members, references in macros, things like that. Pretty exciting feature. It's been underway for quite a long time. Sebastiaan, can you tell us a little bit about the kind of the story behind this feature?
Yeah, we used to have a package for, I think it was for Umbraco 7 even, for doing this kind of tracking. So what it actually does is making sure that we, whenever we link stuff together, that we track it, and we can show people some warnings when they delete or unpublish or things like that. There was a package made by Dave Woestenborg called NextU, and that one would improve. So we already did some tracking, but we never did a lot of warning. And he actually built something that already made all the warnings and things like that. And at some point, we thought it would actually be a really great idea to put that into Umbraco itself instead of having it as a separate package.
And luckily, Dave agreed, and
he agreed.
Actually has helped out quite a lot on it as well.
He was happy because he didn't have to maintain this code anymore. So
and now it's on us.
It's on us, but it's all good. And he's been working on that with us for quite a long time. We've been having some problem prioritizing it, but he's been making pull requests for the past, let's say, 1.5 years-ish. To get these things into Umbraco 8. That didn't fit in Umbraco 8 in the end. So we decided now that 9 was out, we would pick up the older pull requests and make sure that they worked for V9.
Yeah. Really cool. Well, should we take a look at what it actually does, Elitsa? You've been working on the actual implementation, so I think it would be cool to get a little demo of it.
Let me show you. So, as Sebastiaan said before, we were displaying the media tracking on the info tab. If you go into an image, and then you can see what kind of where it was referenced. Before, we were displaying only the name of the node and then the alias. But with Umbraco 9.4, right now we are displaying more information, specifically what type of relation it is. If you want to see where this image has been referenced, this is the starter kit of Umbraco that I have installed. You can always follow the node, and then you can find where the image has been referenced. Another thing we have added is actually the same thing for content. Before, we were, if there was a reference, we weren't displaying anything. But right now, if, for example, we navigate to this item, to this product's item on its info tab, We can see that it has been referenced into products. We can see that it's a related document. And then if we follow it, we can see where it has been referenced into the parent node. Another thing we have added is, let's say, if the parent has not been referenced anywhere, we are not displaying any references, of course, but if we try to delete that parent, even though it has no references, we would be we'll be warned that we might, by deleting this item, we are going to break some references. In particular, we can see that this child node has some references. And then if you follow it, you can find where it has been referenced. So that's something, again, new that we have added. And the same thing applies for content. We are giving warnings if you try to delete a parent that has or that either has references itself or its descendants have been referenced into some place.
That's incredibly useful.
Yes, it is.
It can be a little bit scary to delete stuff sometimes if you're not sure.
And now you know what would break.
Yeah. And I think that actually has led to a lot of quite big Umbraco installations because it's not been that easy to clean it up, and this actually helps quite a lot figuring out what is used where. So really, really nice.
Mm-hmm. So we saw that we have some delete warnings, but we also now we can get a warning if we try to unpublish an item, and then we can verify that it has been referenced somewhere. And if we try to unpublish it, which is from here, we will also get a similar warning, again, listing that it has that some items depend on this item. So it is not safe to unpublish.
Nice.
Even though we are displaying references, it might still not be safe to continue forward with the deletion or unpublishing. So we have added some settings that you can add to your config, which are into the content settings that are the disable delete when referenced or disable unpublish when referenced. This means that, let's say we set the deletion, that you want to disable the deletion. If items have any references, and then even though you're still presented with a warning, if you disable that, you will no longer be able to delete the items that have any references. So an example of that. Yeah, we saw that this item has references, and if we try to delete it now, we will no longer see the delete option. So we are safe, but if we want to unpublish it, since we didn't configure it, it's still set to false, you'll still be able to unpublish it.
Very nice.
Yes, and the same thing happens for any delete. You can try to delete a media item, and then again, the delete option is not there because you are simply not allowed to. Now on to the next thing, bulk unpublish and bulk delete actions in list views. So you have this list view, and then you might try to delete. You don't know which, if any of the items have references or if anything depends on them. So you go ahead, try to delete it. And what you get here is which items of those which you selected have any references. It doesn't matter what kind of reference they have. It's just notifying you that there are some references. So it's not safe to delete this item. If you
and that didn't work before with the list views, right?
No, you were not provided with any warnings.
Only for single items. Okay,
yeah.
That's really cool.
You were enticed to delete everything and then broken the links, and yeah. So that's for media, and the same thing goes for content. Let's say you have these items, and I have added these new products. So supposedly it doesn't have any references. you try to delete it, and yeah, you see that the biker jacket, which you can see what reference you have as reference to products, so it's not safe to delete. The same thing goes for unpublishing. It will show similar dialog, and then it will display a warning. It will change the button style to danger, so it makes you aware that something's wrong. All right.
Nice.
What else we have? And then I showed you how you can disable the deletion, but that if you find an item that doesn't have any references, you can still be able to delete it, because the setting only disables items that depend on the others, or yeah.
Yeah, so it should be safe. At least there are no references anywhere. Very nice.
Yes. Another thing we have added is media tracking from macros. So I have created this partial view macro, which is going to show us the name of the file and then its extension. In the macro with a similar name, I have enabled this macro to be used in rich text editor and the grid. I have added a parameter, which is files. So for example, you can select the files you want to insert in your macro. And if I find a rich text editor that I can insert the macro, I insert the insert files, and from here I can select which items I want to insert or to reference from this macro. I save. And before, if you remember, on this item we didn't have any references, but now since it's referenced in a macro from, in this case it's the content node, we will get the reference being displayed, and it is indicating that this related media.
Nice. And that was a pull request from Mark Goodson, who made that one also for V8, I believe. And he was going to port it to V9, and then he noticed that Elitsa was already working on that code, and he was very happy about that. So he didn't have to do the extra work to finish it off.
Yeah, but thanks, Mark, as well.
Thanks, Mark.
And the last thing I want to show you is we added a new property on the relation types called isDependency. We are using it to display the warnings. So let's say in the related media and related documents, we have added a migration that is stating that this is a dependency. So if you have related media or related document, we are going to display the warnings that we saw for deletion and publishing. Nice. But for copy, for example, if we try to copy this item, we are going to have a bidirectional relation on both the parent and the child. So here we can see that this is a related document on copy. And if we go to the original item, we can also see that it has a reference to the copy. If we try to delete this item, we now can see that it has one more reference, which is to the parent. You cannot see from my small screen, but this says the parent document on copy. So it knows if you try to restore it, it would know where it belonged before it was deleted.
The point here was that you are now allowed to delete it because it's not counted as a dependency, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah,
it's
even though this one
on each relation type. So if you make your own, you can say if it's a hard dependency or not.
Yeah, exactly. So this one, let's say, even though it had those references, dependencies, we can still delete it. We can still delete it without getting the warning that it's dependent on something else, because we specify that it's not a dependency that we want to for it to be taken into account. Yes.
It's actually,
so I think
I really like that it's configurable, whether it's a dependency or not. I know there's a lot of people out there using relations for many other things where you might not want to block the interface from deleting things and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically to sum up, we had those relations before. We were just not displaying it as we are doing it now. So we make the users more aware of what's happening in the back office with their website, with their project. So that's what comes with 9.4.
Really
Super
cool
good insights, yeah.
Yeah, and awesome work, Elitsa. Also, what a community collaboration between Dave with a lot of the initial work, also some feature requests, I think, for some of the configuration stuff and list view. That was his idea as well, I think. Yeah. Mark Goodson, who did the macro stuff. I think Chad, the infamous Chad from New Zealand, has done some work on it as well. So really cool to see.
Yeah.
Right. I will take the next one. And that is yet another content app. I think we've pretty much infected the entire back office, or the community has identified places in the back office where content apps could be useful. I know they've been added to members, for example, as well. And now the time has come to add them to dictionary items.
Yeah, and this is Patrick de Moy, who has been adding them to everything, everywhere. So because he keeps finding good use cases for them, I'm like, okay, fine.
And it works like every other content app does. You register it via package manifest or in C#, and now you can choose to show them on dictionary items. Here it's set to show on all dictionary items, but you could also define a specific dictionary item trees you only want to show this app on, for example. So quite flexible in that, which I think is pretty cool. I've set up a little demo of what it could potentially do. Just showing up my amazing programming skills here. But in the translation section, I've already added a package manifest and a content app for dictionary items. And now I think I've got two languages here, English and Italian. And if I want to translate this greeting into Italian.
But do you know Italian, Rune?
I don't really know Italian, unfortunately. But luckily, I've added a little translator app up here. And if I go to that, you see now it shows the English text. I've just iframed in Google Translate. And then I can go to Italian down here, and it'll say buongiorno. Very nice. And then I can paste that in here. So, I mean, it does make me an Italian expert, but at least it provides a little bit of help. You can imagine this could be quite useful for if you're adding new languages and you need to go in and add and translate a bunch of stuff. At least you could get started with some of those translations that way. But there's probably also other really good use cases for it on dictionary items as well. We want to provide some extra context. So I think it's a fantastic addition, Patrick. Really.
Super nice.
Really nice.
Is your translator package on Aura somewhere so I can download it? Or?
Not quite yet. I think I need to polish it a little bit. I don't know how to remove the spinner yet. so I think that's standard on iframes. I need to set it to ready or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I could. It's quite simple, and it works. And it also subverts the Google Cloud translation costs, because this just uses the standard translate page, which is free. So pretty neat. Anyways, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, there's actually a ton of other UX improvements in this release as well. I've just plucked out a few of them here. Bjarne has been working on making it easier to identify what master template or what template you're working on in the back office. So I think it was also Patrick, a couple of releases back, he introduced a new overlay for templates, which is now using the tree. So it's kind of a nicer experience when you go in and select things here. Now Bjarne has updated it so it shows the, let's see. So it shows the currently selected item as well. Let's see, I think it might show up when he clicks on the next one. Yeah. Anyways, it'll show when you open the tree up, you can actually see what you're working on, right? Yeah, yeah. So they're grayed out and you can't reselect them. So a little update to that, but really nice improvement. Makes it just easier to work with if you're working with these template hierarchies in the back office. And there's another hit from Bjarne, which is an update to the block list editor. So when you have multiple blocks in there, there's a search field, which is quite useful when you have many blocks. And he's updated improved the filtering on these. I think it was quite broad filtering, so it used all of the properties for each of the blocks, essentially. So if you search for image and you had some, it'll just display anything because they all have images attached to them, for example. So he's tweaked the filtering a bit, so it works way nicer. And
it looks for document type alias now, as well as as you can see here, the node IDs. So it actually looks for a bit more, but also more useful stuff. And I think this was also the one where if you found no result, you got stuck with like an empty screen, and you couldn't get back, so you had to cancel and start over with your search. So now it just gives you a nice message saying there was no results, and then you can search again.
Yeah, I think that's at the end. Yeah. But yeah, nice little improvement as well. That just makes it easier and friendlier to work in the back office. And the last one plucked out here is a new overlay size. So when you're creating your own custom property editors in the back office and you're creating new overlays, you were able to select between small, medium, and full screen or full size, I think before. And Anders Bjarne has added a large size as well. So I suspect he has a big widescreen Samsung monitor, something like that. But you can totally see the use case here, where there's a big difference between a medium, which would be quite small on a large screen, and full width, which is just take up all the space, right? So this is actually a nice middle ground, and he's also made sure that it works on smaller screens when it almost takes up all the width, the entire width of it. So again, just some more flexibility for anyone working with overlays. So really well done. And I think we had one more. You might have heard that we've been talking about the new Umbraco Marketplace, kind of a new place to highlight packages and to also show packages from technical partners. And the first part of that has also made its way into the back office now. So when you go to the package section, you now see there's a promoted section. So this will be used for, again, for partner packages. It'll be used to highlight specific community packages also and things like that. So a nice little addition there as well.
Yeah, we're actually doing some we're making packages into content and actually doing some editing on them. It's like, hey, this is what we love using as well.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot more to come in that space for sure in the future. So before we shut down the episode, I think I'd like to talk a bit about a little kind of regular Thursday event that's been going on for half a year now or something like that. Sebastian, you've been toying around over on the Discord server.
Yeah. So I think just before October last year, we started a new community space on a Discord server where we invited the community in. I think there's almost 600 members now on the Discord server actually. And then we thought for Hacktoberfest we would use that to do a weekly hack together. Just people showing up who wanted to help contribute to Umbraco CMS, and we would screen share and talk to each other so that we could get our contributions done in a good and collaborative way. That's a difficult word, isn't it? That's kind of I kind of kept doing that after Hacktoberfest as well. So I've been doing that every Thursday since then. It's called UmbraCollab Thursday, or just UmbraCollab. It doesn't matter what day it is really. So we come together. Sometimes it's often it's Paul Seal who is trying to do something in one of his packages and just sharing a screen and lets us follow along and help him out whenever he gets stuck. So it's actually super helpful for him, and he's always having a lot of fun trying to get things done. And we always kind of get surprised. We limit it strictly to 1 hour a week, and we always get surprised by the end of the hour that something actually has happened and is actually almost done or almost done. So yeah, that's been going on, and he's actually started a spin-off of that because he was having too much fun, so he wanted more fun. I think he just started it yesterday. It's called Umbracalong. Come along to do Umbraco, and it'll be a few hours a week where maybe it's just 1 or 2 hours, I don't know, where people gather, we talk about stuff we want to do. Maybe we want to work on a blog post or whatever, and we all sit in the Zoom room together and be quiet while we're working on it. And then maybe sometimes we can talk to each other, but the idea is to like work on something together and having some people around. So yeah, it seems like a fun idea.
Nice. How do you get to that?
That's new. I think he's just started a meetup group for that. So
okay,
I'll find a link for the blog post later.
Yeah, I can add it in the description for the video. Yeah.
And the reason we wanted to talk about this now, is because we have one of the contributions in this release 9.4 is from Cornet, and he's actually a first-time contributor. I thought he'd done stuff before, but no, he's just everywhere now. It's like blogging, contributing, and so on. So congrats, Cornet, on your first contribution. We did a session together about there's in the media section, you can create more media types than there already are. Like you can create document types as well. You can create media types, and when you set permissions for those in the pickers, the media pickers, the permissions would get ignored. So you'd upload an image, and it would be allowed, even though it wasn't allowed under that folder, or the image type would be wrong. And it would just be accepted. So yeah, we and this is one of those contributions that is super hard to test because there's so many variables. So we worked together on it for an hour with I think there were about 12 people in the room at the time. And then we went through a couple more review rounds afterwards. It took a few weeks to get it fully tested and properly reviewed. But yes, that one made it into 9.4 recently, and yeah, first time contributor starting out on UmbraCollab. Now he's world famous.
He is indeed. Very nice, very nice. And I think we just show how to actually find the Discord server at least.
Oh, yeah.
I think we forget to highlight that sometimes, but on our, if you go into the community section, and I think under get involved.
Well, you can just scroll down. I think it's already there. Oh, there's a special section for it. Okay. That's new.
There is a community Discord page here, and that lets you join the channel. And it's not just for these Thursday sessions. There's a lot more going on on Discord, right?
Yeah, so we have a few things there. So you start out in the social channel. We say good morning to each other. It's fun. There's help channels. So if you have questions about using Umbraco, various types of questions, there's various help channels for that. There's a Code Garden channel. There's a Wordle channel if you are into playing Wordle every day. Which I like. Gaming. There's a general gaming channel for Umbracians who want to game together, and then there's the voice channel where we usually meet up for UmbraCollab or something else, whatever. So whenever we have something to talk about in voice and video.
Yeah, and
join us.
It is. You should totally, and it's actually grown quite a lot, and there's like tons of different channels dedicated to specific topics like package development or Umbraco 9 specific stuff, and people are really helping each other out there, which is really cool.
And if you just want to lurk and just look at what's going on, there is so much going on that you actually can learn a lot about how to use Umbraco and how other people are using Umbraco. So if you just want to look in and don't say anything, that's absolutely fine. I guarantee you will learn a lot. We also have integrations with our RSS feeds and YouTube feeds and stuff. So the news channel will show you literally the heartbeat of Umbraco at this moment. When this blog post is out, it will appear in the news channel, and when Corne's blog post is out, it will appear in the channel, and so on. So yeah.
And I'm sure Paul Seal will shout about when he's doing his UmbraColongs as well.
Yes. Yep.
Fantastic. Well, I think that does it for this round. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for demoing item tracking, Elitsa. That was really cool to see.
Welcome.
Thanks to everyone who contributed to 9.4. Go in, check out the release notes, check out the blog post. There's a ton of really cool improvements, and a lot of them are made by the community. So thank you for all.
We have like 70% this time that's community based. So super good.
Yeah, it's amazing. So cool to see. Yep. All right. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.